2017 Ram Bighorn 1500. Rear brakes. You want to raise your vehicle and support it properly. Remove your rear tires. Those were 7/8 sockets because the lug nuts are a little swelled up. And you got your caliper, you got your bolts, you got two 10s like that, two 10 millimeters. Remove them. Okay. Then on this type of caliper, see how that goes underneath there, and this one doesn't go underneath there. Just this one slides right out. Okay. Depending upon, maybe the other side is the same way. Now this is the driver's side. That one doesn't go underneath. This one goes underneath. Okay. So on this side, you'll pry the top out, and on the passenger side, you pry the bottom out first. Okay. You'll get some people will pry the heck out of that, but it ain't gonna come. On this side, it comes out through the bottom first, like that. Okay. All right, and then sometimes you might want to try to push the piston in. You can get to it like that. That way it doesn't get hung up on the pads and chip your piston, because the pistons are plastic. Okay. We'll get the caliper out of the way, and then we'll get to the caliper bracket bolts. Those are 21 millimeter. Might want to use a long breaker bar to break them loose. Okay. Caliper bracket bolts. Caliper bracket. Okay, you have to clean that up. Rotor. Gotta remove this retaining clip. Spray with some rust penetrant. If they're not broke loose, you have to hit them with a hammer. Okay? Hit them with a hammer around there. If you're not gonna reuse the rotor, hit around the rotor a little bit. That gives it more of a vibration. Okay? Okay. Got the rotor off. Now you see this? Gotta make sure this is all clean. No high and low spots. No high spots of rust. You gotta get the rust out of there. If you don't clean that up, the rotor is gonna wobble. It'll give you a brake pulsation. So clean that up. So we're gonna clean that up, and then we're gonna clean up our caliper bracket also. Okay. Got it nice and shiny. I'm not actually moving any metal. I'm just scratching it up. Same thing in my bracket. Okay. I'm gonna throw some paint on these so they don't rust up so bad underneath the clips. I'll use a die grinder, and I'll get in there and clean it up. Here's a new rotor. If the rotor had oil on it from shipping, clean it off with soap and water, or some Windex, or some degreaser. Do not use brake clean on your rotor, because the chemicals in it will eat away the brake pads. And the new brake pads have these little flower leaves on them. I mean, the brake pads are highly sensitive to brake pain. Okay? So, we'll leave that alone. Okay, I got my abundant clips on there. And they're painted. They're good. So now we're going to mount our bracket, and we'll put our brake pads on there. Okay. Before you mount your caliper bracket, you want to put your pads in here. It's almost impossible to put the pads in the brackets on the car, on the axle. So put them in here. A lot easier, and get them close to the edge as you can. And then bring it over there and put them on. Okay. Put your bracket on, tighten them up, 80 foot-pounds. Double check your torque specs. Squeeze your pads together so they're against the rotors. Push your slides all the way up so you don't get, to that one outward position, so they don't get hanging up on that. Make sure the line isn't twisted. Remember, this one's got to go in underneath first. And then you got to make sure that slide isn't hitting. So you can get it all the way up. I'm going to pull them out. Make sure they're not hitting inside there. Up there. That's in there. And you got to make sure the bottom slide is all the way out. So you're not hitting that. Push it in there. And the springs that are on those abundant clips are holding the caliper from going all the way in. It just pops out. Bling! And then you hold it in and you put your bolts back in. Okay. Caliper's in proper position. Put your caliper bolts back on. Both of them. You gotta hold the caliper in because spring loaded. Get them started. Run them down. And then torque them to like 18 foot-pounds. Okay, and that's how you do your brakes. Remember, on the other side, this will be down here, so it's just opposite. Then you can put your tires on and you torque your lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds and double check your torque specs. Okay, that's how you do brakes on the rear. Pads and rotors.